I did not grow up in the church. It'd be nearly 20 years from my birth before I'd step foot into a church on my own accord.
Pieces of me are scattered too far to see. Pain as they say, but it refuses to leave. I have the will in me, but at times I refuse to believe. I may seem whole, but I'm missing a crucial piece.
I had been to church with friends of mine growing up, and his, weddings, funerals as I got older. But I always just kind of saw church as a place for Jesus people and all that Jesus stuff. And I guess I saw it as a place for people who were ignorant and naive. When I looked at the history of our world, I just saw the terrible things that mankind had done in the name of its beliefs. And I guess I didn't understand that it was mankind itself to blame. When I was about 20 years old, something really strange happened. It was like a domino effect just swept across all of my friends and the people that I really was interested in and wanted to be around. Suddenly, more and more of them were attending a non-denominational church and talking about Jesus and inviting me to go with them and attend events or get together with other church people. My friends were telling me, man, we really love you, we care about you, we just want to see you saved, we don't want you to burn in hell. And I got really bothered. That bothered me a lot. I saw the compassion in the message, but I just felt like all this stuff was being shoved down my throat. I didn't like it at all. At this point, I was genuinely wondering, why are all the people I care about telling me this? Why is this a trend with the people that mean the most to me? I mean, even my love interest at the time felt the same way. So I had to sit down and just ask, like, God, is there something you're trying to tell me? So I started praying. It's as simple as that. I asked for guidance and truth. I asked God to show me his presence. I wasn't, really even kneeling or bowing or closing my eyes. I was just talking to God every day, just like he was sitting next to me or watching over my shoulder. Just asked for guidance. I prayed for forgiveness, and as a college student, Lord knows I needed it.
When the darkness closes in, I will keep my eyes on you. When I'm standing on...
After a while, I started going to church regularly and reading my Bible a lot. And I saw some really positive changes. I saw some things that were pretty undeniably tied into the specific prayers that I had spoken, and that really moved me. That was really creepy at first, but in a really positive way, and then very powerful. When I say all my prayers began to be answered, I don't mean that all my problems went away. I didn't receive any physical items or any, job that I was wanting or anything. But I started to see reason in all the things that took place in my life. Even when it was painful or tragic, I started to grasp this idea that, when we hit detours or closed doors in our life, this path that we've expected to take shifts. But along that new path, we have discoveries and experiences and relationships that, happen as a result of that we may never have experienced before. Eventually, I began to call myself a Christian, but it would be a few years before I really solidified my faith. In the spring of 2010, I met with an Army recruiter and took my ASVAB, and I got ready to enlist in the Army later that year once I finished my bachelor's program at the University of New Mexico. I trained hard for the Army. I was lifting, running, swimming. I had a private MMA lessons. I was practicing marksmanship. I mean, I was ready. At least I thought. In October of 2010, I was arrested for misdemeanor DWI. And this was a big problem because I had already been arrested once for misdemeanor DWI 3 years prior to that. I couldn't believe what was happening. I mean, how I could have been so arrogant, so stupid. I mean, I had known better both times, but I somehow justified it. Like, you know, Caylin, you're gonna go do great things for your fellow Americans and in this world, so, you know, it's okay. You can go and bend the rules as long as you get away with it. And you've already learned this lesson once, so you're smart enough to get away with it this time. I guess I thought I was still a better person than most people. I was still being lazy in my faith. I was acting out based on the expectation of forgiveness rather than intentionally living a life to glorify Christ. I was partying to find relief from my personal problems rather than relying on God's grace to find strength to handle them. I completed the DWI drug court program from 2011 to 2012 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was hesitant at first, but pretty soon I realized that change was my only shot at having a chance with the military, because that getting in trouble again had pretty much ruined that, at least until I was far enough away from all the court programs and all that. And I knew that at the very least I had to appear that I did very well in this rehabilitation in order to have any chance whatsoever at following my dreams again. But something happened in giving in and becoming humble and really participating in that program. It turned out to be the biggest blessing I've ever had in my life, and I would not be the person I am today if I had not gone through it. Drug court taught me that although I was physically strong, I was emotionally and spiritually weak. I had wanted to be a soldier so bad, but I didn't have the strength of character yet. And that was something that I'd have to build. And for me, the way to do that was pretty much ruining my life and having to build it back up from the bottom. So the years went on, and I got more and more in touch with my faith. I started acting based on principle and, not just whether I thought someone was watching, but really trying to be a beacon of light in a world of darkness, and trying to be humble and patient, kind, and just having compassion. I mean, as hard as that was. I got connected with my church. I started serving on the production team and in our student ministry, really just being involved, giving back and getting involved with a small group, making good friends, and really experiencing church as a community and not just a building. I also began to look more deeply for a way to reconcile my faith with science, partly to defend myself, in arguments and sound like I, knew what I was talking about to others, but really to quell this kind of uncertainty inside me. I think that all of us have this kind of, this little shred of doubt that always lingers with us inside, and I believe that if any Christian or any person tells you that they don't have some kind of doubt or uncertainty deep down inside of them about what they believe, that person's lying to you. But I believe that's what God wants us to do, to question, to doubt, to seek truth, to seek Him, to seek answers, to be relentless in that. And I don't think that God made us as smart and as capable as we are to just have blind faith, and I don't think that blind faith benefits anybody. Finally, I felt a sense of contentment that I'd never experienced before. It was like, whether I was overcome with anxiety and fear and stuck in the dark or the unknown and angry or felt offended or hurt, or whether I felt on top of the world and everything was going great and I had everything I needed, that either way I had the same sense of peace inside of me, and I could have never imagined that years ago. My life is still a roller coaster of ups and downs. It's not that faith has solved all my problems or taken any of them away, but my faith has been there to remind me of my blessings, no matter how small they may be. I cannot erase the evil that's been done and will continue to be done in the name of religion, nor can I give you any kind of a swift answer or, hard evidence to prove intelligent design. All that I can do is to state my experience in authenticity and tell you that this is what I've come to know as truth.
I open my eyes to the skies to see you standing there right in front of me, wearing a light far too bright for my eyes to perceive. You open the gate, take my hand, and you guide me into your presence, Lord, and the love that you hold with.